Hello everyone, I'm Rashmi Bhandary and I have my student Madhur with me. Madhur is from IS branch and is cleared Ecolabs with a package of 9.8 LPA. So congratulations Madhur.
Thank you ma'am, thank you so much.
Yeah, so it's wonderful when your students do well. So Madhur, tell us a little bit, what is the role, what is the eligibility criteria?
Yeah, so first I would like to talk about the company. The company is mainly based on finding solutions to eco-friendly things which can be related to food, water, health, or the environmental issues. So they find solutions to such problems. So they are actually widespread in many domains, maybe cloud, AI, ML, or IoT based. So basically, when we asked about the domain we'll be working about, they were like maybe the project in hand will decide your role for that project. So my role for the first 6 months will be a trainee that is for the probation period. Later on will be a associate engineer, then the software engineer. So they offered a package of around 9.8 and
what was the eligibility, Madhur?
It was 70% for the engineering, and then I think then the rounds were like
so only engineering marks,
yeah,
and branches were CS, IS and EC.
Yeah.
All right, all the three. Yeah. So then what was the first round?
So the first round was basically aptitude. It was like 30 questions, 10 questions each, 10 of quants, quantitative analysis, and then 10 of English and 10 of reasoning. So as soon as the first round was done, they have used Aeon CoCubes as the platform for making all the assessments. So basically they went on with the 30 questions. So as soon as you clear the 30 questions, it will decide whether you're going for the coding round or not. The next moment, when you click the submit button, your results are out. So you know if you're going for the coding round.
Alright. So how difficult was that first round?
First round was medium, ma'am. It was not that difficult also because quants was good. I think reasoning was a bit hard compared to English and quants. So I think reasoning.
Reasoning, alright. But then what was the clearance level? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was around, for the coding round we are not sure because they'll not let us know.
No, but actually
after the coding round it was around 30.
Yeah, so I'm sure some 200 would have written the test. And aptitude, even though Madhur is telling not so tough, okay, not everyone, okay, so hardly maybe some 50 or 60 would have cleared. So already, only 1/4 would have cleared. So it is not easy. So what my point of view is, students, is not really as easy as these students make it out to be. It's not easy, okay. And what is your marks, by the way? You've got their eligibility was 70%. What's yours?
I have around 8.7 CGPA.
See, 8.7 CGPA. So everyone thinks, I've got 70, so I will. But look, the higher marks, the difficulty level is high. Naturally, they're paying you so much, right? So they're going to make it a little tough for you. And then, then the next round.
So the coding round.
Was it immediately as soon as the results came out?
Yeah, the next moment when you click on submit, the results are out, and you know if you're going for the coding round.
So immediately you write the coding then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start the coding round as soon as the.
All right.
So coding round had 3 basic questions. They are divided it on marks like 1 points, 2 points, and 3 points. So the difficulty was as such. With 1 marks was okay, and then 3 marks was medium level question. So first the questions were actually different for people. It was not the same question, so it might depend on how one person takes it.
Can you give an example? Do you remember?
Sure. One of the questions I'll tell all the 3 questions.
Yes.
The first question was basically we had to enter 2 strings. So the combined 2 strings, not 2, like any number of strings we take in. So you need to find how many capitals are there in the all set of strings as a whole. So that was the first question. Second question was we had to take an array of numbers where we have to find the mid value of the number, and if we have given some negative inputs or negative numbers, say less than 0, so those numbers should be ignored from the array and those only positive should be considered, and you need to find the mid value of that array. Third question was the one where people might have got stuck because it was basically on palindrome. Just not palindrome. Palindrome is like you reverse the string name. Example, Malayalam, read from both the ends are same. So you have to check if a given string is palindrome, and if it is not, what you have to add at the end so that it becomes a palindrome. So that was the one of the medium level questions that was there in the coding. So you clear all those 3 rounds, so you are given 45 minutes.
So is there a way of doing these coding questions, or how do you approach it?
Approach is basically like, first of all, when you read the question, it might sound like too much. The question will be simple, but then when you read the question, how they represent it, you might take it in different ways. That's where people might get wrong. But analyzing the question is important.
So you should have solved a lot of these coding questions before.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was with the basics, ma'am. Some people might say what's taught in subjects is not what, but I feel the base is where you learn from the college. Like not everything. They don't teach you like application based. They teach you what is needed for the subject. But I feel the strings or manipulation or taking inputs or all these are got from the college itself. So while we're taking basics, I think you need to take from the college and. Later on, how you apply it, seeing videos, or you may go to some platforms and get some idea about it. That is left to you.
Yeah, but basically, whatever you study, naturally, this is an engineering company, so naturally they're going to ask you engineering questions, what you study. But still, people don't clear, so that's why I'm a little surprised. So, when you're talking about basics, which level, which year do you study all this?
From first year. First year we start off with C programming. Right now for video it was C programming. So it can come in either of the first sem or the second sem, depending on what cycle you are in, the chemistry cycle or the physics cycle. So when you come into your branch, it depends on which branch you go. Again, EC will not have coding of C or Java in the third sem or fourth sem, I suppose. We have C programming continuation in third sem. As I am from information science, I had data structures, one of the major topics that people look out for. So that had C programming again. So again we have to go through that C programming. C programming actually helps in learning other languages pretty easier.
So if you have a strong base on C, it is helpful?
Yeah, it is helpful for the other programming languages.
Okay, so people skip on C or how is it? Usually, and they go for Python?
It's like orthodox. C is orthodox. Like you need a lot of code to write one. It's like you write a code of 30 lines of code in C, you can finish it off in 5 to 6 lines in Python. So that's the difference. C is like you write your own things, own functions. But Python has its own inbuilt functions which you can use without any.
But if you are good at C, you can crack almost anything.
You can crack, but it will take your time. It will eat up your time. Rather concentrate on C. You can then implement some things in Python. So Python will actually save your time. I suppose. That is what I felt.
All right. Okay. Then after that, what was your next round?
Next round was technical. For the technical round, around 31 were shortlisted. So technical round was So preparation, we didn't know what to prepare basically because the company is based on all domains. We didn't know exactly what to prepare on. So obviously, people when they go for IT interviews, we usually concentrate on OOPS, that is object-oriented programming. That's what I did. So I studied the concepts. We started off the interview. Interview started off. First thing he asked was, "Tell me about yourself." I was actually shocked that he asked it in technical round.
Yeah. No, but every round, that's a standard question. Tell me about yourself. Every technical round, every HR round begins usually with that. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. So I had prepared a strong introduction to myself. I think that is where it helped me. And I concentrated in my introduction where I was strong on. I was not talking about the things where I didn't want him to concentrate on. So I just persuaded him to get into parts where he should question me.
Okay, so what did you speak about?
I was actually good with the projects with what I did because I had mentioned the projects which I had done from base. So I knew whatever they asked about my project. So I'll tell about it in the interview how it went. So he asked me about that. He was interested in my sports thing out of somewhere.
So you spoke about sports in your introduction?
Yeah, I told about it. We play cricket. So he was like, what did you play? Like, how did you go with it? What did you learn from it? Did it actually help you with the career which you are going through ahead? So he asked all that. Then he came to my domain. I wanted him to go to the project. He came to the project. He asked me about my project. So I could explain easily about it. So he asked me about my project. Then he came to database management, DBMS. It is one of the vast topics which people might look out for. Like such companies will obviously look out for. So he asked me about it. But thing is, he wanted to bring out the concepts of artificial intelligence, cloud computing from it. So he asked me why did I concentrate on MySQL. MySQL is not cloud-based. They work on cloud-based technologies. So he went about asking about that. Then he was like, so you know about database? I'm like, yeah. Let's talk about cloud. So he wanted to check how much I know about it. So I would like to mention there was one course of Google actually, 30 days of Google Cloud, which we had done during the COVID times. Like it was a lockdown, so we were all at home and college was not there. So we were about me and my group were taking up around some activities as such, 30 days of Google Cloud. Actually, it helped me. I thought it would never help me out. I just spent around 1 month of 3 hours daily working on it. I thought it would not help me, but actually it helped me in this interview.
Okay.
So cloud was what is mentioned in that Google Cloud course. So when he asked me some things, I could explain what I knew about it. So he was actually impressed with that. Then from cloud he came to artificial intelligence and machine learning and all those things. He just wanted to know if I had an idea because these concepts comes in the 7th semester of us. So that had not yet started for us. So I just had a basic idea of how things work, and I mean, obviously we'll have learnt about it. Like, yeah, one more thing. Check about the company about what you're gonna enter. Like, they will ask you, because a company which is based on cloud will not ask you anything on system engineering. So go into concepts of what the company is interested in. So I had a little like research on AI/ML or robotics. I mean, how the automation works. So I answered all those. Then yeah, he was fine with it. Then he ended the technical interview.
Okay. And how long did it go? Roughly around?
Roughly it was mentioned for 30 minutes, but for me it ended around 13 to 14 minutes. Rest of them they took 30
13
minutes.
to 14 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, very
Yes,
short.
very short.
So sometimes the interview is less in case the candidate is very bright or very dumb. Okay, so both ways, you know.
Yeah, I was scared actually because it was showing he had connection issues and he suddenly went off. So I called them up here, they were like, no, he's done with the interview.
Okay.
So it's fine.
Alright.
So they were not sure if I was positive or negative, but then I just waited for it. They were giving the results very soon actually.
Okay.
Coding session ended, next day they were out with the technical interview. Within 3 to 4 hours they told about the HR interview, they did the HR.
Alright. So there's only one technical interview.
Yeah, there was only one technical interview.
And after that?
It was the HR.
Okay.
From 31 they listed 11 for the HR round. Yeah, HR round started and he took. Usually the HR round ends fast. For me it took around 29 minutes.
Okay,
HR
so
round.
Almost half an hour.
Almost half an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know what was with that.
Okay.
Because others have ended with the HR round very fast. My technical was the
short.
reverse. So yeah, HR round again he told me to tell about myself. Again I told the same thing. So again he asked me about my project. Yeah, I had actually gone through his LinkedIn before I went in there.
So you knew he was going to take your interview?
Yeah, the panel was mentioned.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The panel was mentioned was. So I just went through like how experienced he was. Very experienced, learned 12, 13 years of experience in HR.
Okay. So that's a good thing. You know, if you already know, then you can always look at their about them. You know, because as they look into you, you can also check out on their profile.
Yeah. So I knew I couldn't bluff around first of all. Because
that is not only for 13 months, anyone. Okay, even if it's a 1 or 2 year experience, we think it's just 1 or 2 years, but it actually means how much that fellow is packed in that particular time. All right. So just because somebody's got 20 years of experience and somebody's got 2 years, it really does not matter. You know, because ideally even the 20-year-old should be more experienced, but who knows? You know, someone with 2 years also, if he or she is packed enough in those 2 years or 5 years. So don't go by the number of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then he started off, he asked me about my project again. Then he started asking me general questions like about my family, like what background are they from, am I ready to relocate? Or he was asking questions like, would you work in any domain I give you? Or you want anything specific? Maybe that's where I could like get into it because I was open to learning new things. I told him that.
So you were not very specific.
I was not very specific about.
Yeah, that's excellent. You know, that's very nice because many times students make that mistake where they're very rigid and they say, no, I want this. All right. So automatically, you know, it's not very comfortable for the company because you are just as a fresher joining and you don't know what sort of project, you know, you will end up in. So someone is already very rigid, you know, so then you have to be a little careful. Yeah.
Yeah, because I chose to tell that because company like Ecolabs, I had researched about it and they were like they had started around in 1938.
Okay, a long history.
Yeah, they had around 48,000 employees. So it's obviously people won't just go in there for, it's all about the learning. So I thought I can learn stuff and then
Yes. No, as a fresher, I think you should be very open, ready to relocate, ready to work on any project. You know, it's always nice to be flexible.
Yeah, that's what. Then more about that. Yeah, I think that's all he asked. But he stretched the process till long actually.
Okay.
So that took a lot of time because he asked me about my project. Then again he was interested in my hobbies, like how do I spend time. He asked all that. Yeah, such. Then from 11 they shortlisted 4 for the.
So a lot of rejects in the HR round.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think, okay, HR round is a cakewalk. If you are through with the technical, so HR round could be a formality. It is not. Every round is an elimination. So you have to be very careful with every round. So another thing is, anything that you want to share, you know, with the juniors or any viewer, you know, if they want to get into a good company, how should they go about preparing?
Preparing as such, yeah. First, be strong with your basics, the subjects, because your interview will be based on what you have learned. They will not ask you anything above that. Obviously, some subjects like DBMS, data structures, or computer networks. See on the company which you are attending. Just don't waste time studying other concepts for a company which doesn't take into it. Then, yeah, you have to like check into your application, like what projects you do. The projects you do must carry some value. Just don't do it for the sake of it. So yeah, when you learn from what you do by your own is what I believe, like rather than we study for the exams, yeah, we might forget stuff, but what you do by yourself in your projects, you'll never forget. So then, yeah, there are some websites which you can go through, like W3 schools or
Which one?
W3 schools.
W3 schools. It is for what?
It is for all the coding languages. You can there is information about all the code like Java, C++, C, Python, JavaScript. So they have everything from the basics, just from how the syntax works to how like complexity the codes might get. You can learn from things like that. Then you can go to Geeks for This. There's one whom I saw for my project work was Code with Harry. Actually, he's a YouTuber.
Code with Harry.
It was a YouTube channel.
All right.
He has done everything, like not just DBMS. He has projects on all the domains, like almost all, ranging from PHP, maybe just Python or C, C++, everything. He's a Hindi YouTuber actually. I feel some might be comfortable when people listen to their native languages.
No, not only that, I always found Hindi videos are much more easier to follow. Even if you want to learn English, you rather watch a Hindi YouTube, you know, because they tell it very nicely. I think that's a very good thing that you told, right? Especially Hindi YouTubes are much more better because they put it very nicely where even a common person can actually understand.
Then there's one more YouTuber, like his tag goes like programming with Mosh. So
Mosh.
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 MOSH. So
Okay.
he's English YouTuber. He does very good with Python actually. He's really good with Python. So whenever you Google first learning Python from base, his videos pop up in the first.
Okay.
So you can go through his videos. Then I would like to mention about LinkedIn actually. LinkedIn plays a vital role in your maybe what you mentioned in the resume. I had mentioned my LinkedIn profile. They might have or might not have viewed. But I feel maintaining a good LinkedIn is do it from the first year of your engineering if you're starting along. So maintain it properly also, like keep posting stuff in your LinkedIn. Then as tips I can give something from my side what I have experienced. I feel communication was mainly important, like even if you don't know some concepts, if you make the interviewer feel that you might know or you might learn in future if they are out to teach you, I think that can help you. Optimism is one main thing which I look forward to, because people around you getting placed, your friends group or whatever it is, it can put your morale down actually. But don't let that happen. Like just go. Even when you enter an interview, don't be like a tough company. I don't think I can crack it. Just sit with a positive mindset. It might help you with the.
Yes.
Then the learning process, it depends on the person who's learning. You can do a group work or individual. Everyone might not be interested in a group work. But when you learn as a group, as some new concepts or what you see in videos, it might actually share your knowledge. Like, may not be that everyone might be like very comfortable with the group work, but I felt group work was what helped me in learning things, because sharing is always, a word of mouth is always a plus point to your learning. Then keep a good resume and persuade the interviewer to get into topics you know, and so that he can question you on your stuff. You can be confident enough while answering.
Yes. So thank you, Madhur, for all those wonderful tips. I hope it was helpful. Till we meet again, it's bye from both of us.